Welcome back to Mimi's Organic Eats. My name is Mimi, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make DIY Christmas cookie boxes. Christmas is my absolute favorite time of the year, and I have my parents to thank for that because they always did such an amazing job during this time of year, making it feel really special. But one of the things that really stood out to me and that I have done year after year after year is make holiday cookie boxes. This is something I started doing with my mom maybe when I was in middle school or something, but we would make holiday cookie boxes for everyone. So that included like our neighbors, our friends, my teachers at school, people in my dad's office. We would make holiday cookie boxes for basically everybody. And so it was just a time that my mom and I spent together in the kitchen. We would bake all kinds of stuff, and it was super fun putting together the boxes. And one of the cool things that we did that I don't really do now because like everything is digital, but like my mom would save old holiday cards that she'd get in the mail from friends and family, so from like previous Christmases. And then what we would do is we'd cut off the top, which is like the pretty part of the card where it showed like a snowman, or it showed a Santa, or it showed a really pretty winter wonderland landscape. And so we would cut those off, and then we would glue those onto the top of the bakery boxes because they were just like plain bakery boxes with no window. And then that made the bakery boxes really festive. And then we're like, oh, so-and-so has the Santa box, and so-and-so has the Christmas tree box, and so-and-so has the snowman box. So that's, if you guys still collect Christmas cards, that's a really cool thing that you can do to recycle and to reuse them. But I don't have any Christmas cards today because all the ones I get are pretty much digital these days, which is great because we're saving paper. But I do have a ton of cookies that we are going to be making DIY Christmas cookie boxes with. So I'm going to show you guys how I do it, and hopefully you'll make these for your friends and your family this holiday season. Let's get started. So you only need a few things to make DIY Christmas cookie boxes at home. The first thing you're going to need are boxes. And these bakery boxes are the ones I'm using today. They're just like a white bakery box with a window, and I'll link them in the description. But another trick, if you are needing them ASAP, is you can go into your local bakery and you can ask them if you can buy some boxes. Back before everything was available on the internet really easily, this is what my mom and I did when I was little. We'd go into our favorite local bakery, we'd pick up some of their cookies or some of their treats that we really liked for us to enjoy while we were making our cookie boxes, and sometimes we'd put in a few extras of theirs into ours as well. And then we would buy like 25 or 30 boxes, however many we were doing. And that allowed us to support a local business while also getting something that we needed. The next thing you're going to need is holiday ribbon to tie up your cookie boxes with. I have a couple different ones here. And then I really like to use parchment paper in my cookie boxes. This really helps with grease, and it just really makes the presentation a lot prettier and a lot nicer. And so this is the parchment paper that I'm using. It's Kana, which is my absolute favorite non-toxic parchment paper. I'll link that in the description as well. And then, of course, we're going to need cookies. Lots and lots of cookies. So after you get all your supplies, the boxes, the ribbon, and the parchment paper, then you want to plan out making your cookies. And now I have all my cookies made right here, but I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks on how you can prepare and make these cookies ahead of time so you can assemble all these holiday cookie boxes if you need to give them all on the same day or the same couple of days for the Christmas season. So at the beginning of December, you can start prepping your holiday cookie boxes by making whatever cookies you'd like to put in them. And after you make them, all you have to do is freeze the cookies. Most cookies freeze really well, and I have a blog post on how to freeze cookies properly, which I'll link in the description if you're unfamiliar of how to do that. So all these cookies that I have here, they've all been frozen, and they are now ready to be put into our Christmas cookie boxes. So I'm going to share with you the cookies that I chose for my DIY Christmas cookie boxes here in case you guys want to replicate this exactly. So the first one here, these are my simple Christmas shortbread cookies, and these are really just simple Christmas shortbread cookie, to be perfectly honest with you. And I use naturally colored sprinkles here, so everything here is free of artificial colors. These are some of my favorite ones from India Tree. As you can see, the red is super bright, so I really love these for the holidays. So that was a must for my cookie box. Then I have my new chocolate peppermint crunch cookies, which these are so good. These are like a dark chocolate candy cane in your mouth, so these were definitely ones that I wanted to include. And then these are my sourdough jam thumbprints. So these use up leftover sourdough discard, and you can use any kind of jam that you want in these. These cookies have a little bit of holiday spice in there, so they're really good with cherry jam, which is what I have in here. It also goes really well with cranberry. And I have some where I use my apple cider persimmon jam in, and those are so good too. And these are my Candy Cane Crunch dark chocolate cookies. So this is basically like a chocolate chip cookie, but with Candy Cane Crunch dark chocolate pieces in it instead. So basically your classic chocolate chip upgraded for the holidays. Then I have another chocolate cookie. These are actually a peppermint mocha cookie, and I just took my chocolate espresso cookies, which I'll also link in the description, and I just added candy canes and white chocolate chips on top. And then last, this one's not a cookie, but it's so good that it had to go in the box. This is my peanut butter pretzel Christmas crack. So if you're familiar with the traditional Christmas crack, I've basically swapped out the saltine crackers for pretzels, and then I added peanut butter into the chocolate topping. And then I also used India Tree's Nature's Colors sprinkles, so these are free of artificial colors as well. So I chose these options because I wanted to do like a classic cookie box this year. So we have our chocolate chip, we have our thumbprint, we have our chocolate cookie, we have our shortbread cookie, and we have a little sweet and salty chocolate element. So I'm really excited about these. So now that we have our supplies and our cookies, it's time to build our DIY Christmas cookie boxes. So when you get your boxes ready to go, some boxes you may have to like assemble and put in little slits in the cardboard. Other ones will just pop open like this one did. It's time to start filling our boxes. And now I have a really large box, like this is a big box, but you guys could do smaller boxes if you want. You could do medium-sized boxes. Any kind of box will work, but I go big, so I have a large box today. So now it's time to put parchment paper in the bottom of the box. Like I said, the parchment paper will really help with grease from the cookies. And if your cookies are made with butter, they're definitely greasy. And especially if you have like a craft box or like an unbleached box that doesn't have any coating on it, like this one, you really want to have parchment paper in there. As long as you have a nice little coating on the bottom of the box with parchment paper, you're going to be good to go. Now, the next step, you're going to decide if you want to actually divide your cookie box into segments, like all the cookie boxes you see on Pinterest ever, or if you just want to pile all your cookies in the box. There's no wrong way to do it. You can do it either way, and I've made cookie boxes both ways, and they both can look amazing. But for the sake of Pinterest, let's just do some little dividers today to show you guys how I would do it. So I'm actually going to cut up a secondary bakery box in order to make the dividers. So if you want to divide your cookie boxes into little sections, make sure that you plan to get extra boxes than you actually need. So this is what your first little piece would look like if you just cut off a portion of your bakery box. And now you can cut it to fit the box however you'd like, or you could even round it like this, and you could have like a rounded section if you have something like that for your box. This is totally up to you. I want to go straight, so we're gonna cut this. And see, now we have a nice little divider down the middle of our box. And make sure that you put your cut side down, because if you're anything like me, the cut's never perfectly straight, but no one's gonna notice it if it's just facing downwards. That way you have that nice clean cut on top. Now I have my next piece, and so now I'm gonna decide how else I wanna divide it. I could divide it like this for triangles. I could go like this. I could do another straight one like this. Whatever you guys want. And now, mind you, there's gonna be cookies in here kind of holding these together. So if you're like, oh my gosh, they're kind of flimsy, they're not staying in, don't even worry about that, because once we start putting the cookies in here, they're gonna be totally fine. Okay, so now that we have our parchment paper in, we have our dividers cut, we have all of our cookies made, now is the fun part. Now is the time that we get to build the box. Like I said before, there's no wrong way to build a Christmas cookie box. You can do it however you want. The most important thing is to have fun and know that you're making these for someone who is truly going to enjoy them. So let's put our cookies in. So as you're putting your cookies in, there are just a couple different ways that you could do this. If you're doing little sections of certain kinds of cookies, you can lay them like this so that they're kind of like at an angle and kind of on each other, or you can stack them like this so they're all straight. These are pretty much the two preferences that you have to put your cookies in, so either which way, and the whole box doesn't have to be the same. Some could be one way, some could be another way. And if you have little gaps in your cookie box where you're like, oh my gosh, a whole cookie won't fit here, don't worry about that. We're gonna go over that at the end. So the main thing now is to try to get all the cookies in however you wanna do that. And then if you have little gaps, we'll talk about that in a minute. And as your cookies start to fill in, you'll see that your dividers will just be a little bit more snug now, so that's perfect. Okay, so now my box is pretty much full, but as you can see, I have a little gap on my shortbread section and I can't really fit another one. And so what you can do when you have a little gap is you can fill it with something else if you have something else that's not a cookie and it has like different sizes. So in this case, I have the Christmas crack. So I could put like a little bit of Christmas crack in there, or if you have like a chocolate bark or a little piece of fudge or something like that, you could fill those in your little pieces. You could also do candy canes in there or little like other Christmas candies and just fill that up. So anything like that you have, you can fill in those little gaps to make this a little bit more complete. And so I'm going to use my Christmas crack today. You see, I'm just breaking up even smaller pieces so that they fit perfectly right in there. And now that looks full. So now that your box is pretty much full, I like to still add in some little things that are gonna make it just extra special and festive. So of course, candy canes. You guys can do full-size candy canes or you can do mini candy canes depending on the size of your box. And you can kind of place these in like anywhere that you might see fit or anywhere that you want to add a little bit pop of color or just fill a little bit of space. And then one of my other favorite things to put in a Christmas cookie box is these chocolate snowmen. And these are from Lake Champlain. They're organic chocolate snowmen. I'm obsessed with them. I always put them in my cookie boxes. And so these are so cute to have just like one little piece of chocolate that's super festive, because like, look at how cute he is. He is just so cute. And he's just gonna be like a nice little surprise in somebody's cookie box. So now that your Christmas cookie box is complete, all you need to do is close it up and tie it with a holiday ribbon, and it's perfect for gift giving this holiday season. If you want more organic Christmas recipes, be sure to hit that subscribe button and join me next time in the kitchen. Happy holidays from my kitchen to yours.